memories of teaming with Greg Valentine?
That was good. It was interesting. Greg was a totally different, conflicting styles, which made the tag team work.
Right.
A tag team, both guys do not need to be the same.
Did you working tag or singles?
I broke into business as a tag team wrestler. I'd been in tags until I went to Calgary, and then to New York. And even in Calgary, I was very seldom a single. I was in tags most of the time, me and Schultz and me and Ron Starr as tag team champions, and myself and the Cuban Assassin up there. I had always been in tags. Myself and Dutch Mantell were the tag team champions in Puerto Rico for a year. Always in tags. So tags came easy. And I knew that no matter what style Greg had, I could adapt and make it work, because with his wrestling brute strength style, slow and determined, my show business bullshit made a good tag team. It really makes for a good team. If both guys look the same, if both guys act the same, if both guys do everything the same, then you're not getting any kind of a difference there. It was a good spot for both of us at the time, because I had gone through a program now with Snuka, and I had gone through with.
I was going to ask you about Snuka.
I had gone through with the Warrior and did the return matches with the Warrior for 3-4 months with the Warrior, where I'm going to get my belt back, and Warrior beats me every night, which makes him stronger. Then came Snuka. Snuka came in, and I went to Vince, and I said, because we're there again, you got to be thinking on your feet in this business. Here Jimmy Snuka he was a god. He was next to Hogan as far as what people saw in him, and he had left the WWF on a $30,000 a week or something, walked out, quit. $30,000 a week, serious big money. Nothing like what Hogan was making.
Right.
At the time when Jimmy left 4 years before that, $30,000 was a lot of money, and he was on top doing sellout business. I see him, I know he's coming in, and I go to McMahon and I ask him, can mind me work a little program with Snuka? I'll try to help get him over. Well, that's just what a promoter wants to hear. I'll help get him over. I'm not going to be a problem. And you know what? I made as much money working with Jimmy in the Scranton, Pennsylvanias, and the small clubs around the country as I did working the bigger shows. I made the same money. It's something. So obviously played into McMahon's hand there, and it gave Jimmy somebody who was not going to beat up on him and hurt him.
Right.
They got him ready for Kurt Hennig, and then him and Hennig had a program. But at the end of that, they had put Greg and I together then and said, we need to do something with both of you, because Greg's run had finished and everything. My run had now finished after 4 years. And it came up, and here again, Rick Rude, God bless him. I mean, he was a great guy. It's sad story about what happened to him. Anyway, we were in the locker room, and Patterson came out of TV Day, and they know they're going to send us out there, but they needed a name for us. And Pat Patterson came in, he's looking at Greg, he's looking at us, he said, we got to come up with a name for you before we go out tonight. And we just, okay, we'll think about it. Rude turned around and said, I got it. How about Rhythm and Blues? Rhythm and Blues? Patterson looks at him, Rhythm and Blues. He says, yeah, that's him. He's a honky tonk man with all the rhythm and everything. There's Greg sitting there half dozy asleep. He's always down in the dump, the blues. Great idea. I'll go tell Vince. And that was it. That was how Rhythm and Blues was born. Then they got the great idea, let's dye Valentine's hair black.
Right.
Which was Valentine hated it. He hated it. It was a great piece of business. Now here, I'm all of a sudden, I'm in a tag match we call Rhythm and Blues, and here's a guy, he's out there with a guitar, and he's got long, stringy, ugly black hair.
Right.
It was really, really good. It would have made for good television. But we happened to be behind the 8 ball. They had the Nasty Boys, they had
Arn and Tully just came in.
Arn and Tully, they had the Powers of Pain, Rock and Roll Express, not Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Rockers. They had the Rougeaus. They had the Dynamite Kid and Davy Boy. They had Brett and Jim was still together at that time, I think, and they were pursuing the Road Warriors. We were in the office talking to McMahon about getting the belts. We were going to beat the Hearts and be the tag champions.
Right.
Rhythm and Blues which would have been tremendous for television. It would have been a great piece of work, I think. the heat we would have had because people hated us.
Right.
Greg with a hair and picking a guitar. We were in the office meeting with McMahon and talking about how we'd like to have the belts and take a quick run at it and see what we could do when he got the call that the Road Warriors were signed and sealed.
Right.
We were the odd man out. Didn't need us now as a team anymore. We were just a safety valve. And once he secured them and they came in, that was it for us. They let Greg go. Fired him. Told him they were done with it. Call me up and tell me they're sending me over to TV. I'm going to be a commentator now with Piper. I'm going to be sitting there with Daffy Duck. You know, you can't get a word in edgewise with Piper. Not only is he all substance abused up at the time and everything else, but mind you, he's wanting to secure a position at the table, which is a hard spot to break into because there's more animosity, more backstabbing that goes on, especially when Vince was sitting at that commentating table with the guys that was there beside him. Everybody wanted that chair beside McMahon. That meant security, stability, prestige amongst the wrestlers and the office people. You were treated different.
Right.
Yeah.
How about Dusty Rhodes? I think you worked a little bit with him.
Had a few matches with old Dusty. Biggest liar is he lies as big as his belly is. You know, old Dusty told us all, hey baby, when I get the job, Ted Turner, you bring me down, I'm gonna bring all you guys with me. You be with me, baby. Yeah, lying sack of shit. He wouldn't even take our phone call. I never called him anyway. You know, he pulled me off to the side prior to us going in that SummerSlam match, and because he had known then that he was probably going to take the Turner job and go there. He met with him and talked to him. He calls me off to the side that night before the match. Hey, baby, I know you're unhappy here and everything. Listen, I got something cooking. When I get it, you're going to be there with me. Okay, right. Here's my number, Dusty. If it happens, I'd sure like to do it because nothing happened here for me. Yeah, baby, don't you worry. No. Well, he never called any of us. In fact, Coco Beware. Coco tried to call there. Dino Bravo tried to call there. Ricky Martel tried to call there. He wouldn't even take their calls. He told all of us, hey, baby, you got a job with me?
As far as Snuka, was he easy to work with?
Yes. Except for that damn splash.
Right.
Holy shit. Man, that thing hurt.
Hard Foundation, your series with them. Did Brett improve a lot from the Stampede days?
No, not really. He improved in tag team because he was always a single in Stampede and his tag matches, which he'd had a year. You know, he had been working with Dynamite and Davey for 10 years in Calgary before, and you know, people look back and say, oh, the Hart Foundation and the British Bulldogs had classic great matches. Well, my God, if I go out there with Ricky Martin and Robert Gibson, me and Larry Latham, and we had wrestled them guys 1,000 times, we'd have tremendous great matches with them.
Right.
They'd been working together for 10 years. They should have had great matches. But tag team-wise, Brett and Jim, there it was again. Here's Brett, who was the technician, the real wrestler in that team, and Jim was the big anvil who couldn't do anything, but yet they had a great tag team. And that's what you have to have.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.